Are you happy? Is the deeper part of you still missing something?
Deep within you, your spiritual heart always remember what this is really about. And many of you for years and years have been searching. You try many things, but you still know it is still missing, because what your spiritual heart is missing is the love, the direct love from Jesus, through your direct love connection with Jesus. Because the spiritual heart is the real center of peace, calmness, and happiness. Only by opening our spiritual heart, we can feel the real peace, calmness, and happiness. And at the same time, spiritual heart also the key connection to Jesus. As our spiritual heart is open, we can feel the direct love connection with Jesus. We have shared about opening spiritual heart to tens of thousands of people around the whole world. This is not something strange. This is not a technique. This is just a natural method to be connected with your spiritual heart. The programs from Natural Way of Living will help you to first connect to your spiritual heart, and then how you can really able to allow the love from true source through your heart to help you in every situation, not only to be more relaxed, happier, more peaceful in your daily life, but also to be healthier and able to allow true source love to help you in everything you do. Our program is not related to any specific religion. In fact, it is very universal. So whatever your background, it doesn't matter, because this is about your direct connection from your own spiritual heart to true source. And whatever your religion is, it will help you to improve your direct connection with true source. So part of the program from Natural Way of Living is to help everyone to trust true source more and more, to improve the direct loving relationship with true source. And this will, in reality, bring you closer and closer to true source, because it is the real purpose of everyone's life to be closer and closer to true source, to be together with true source completely. And that is the real goal of opening your spiritual heart and trusting true source completely. Many people in the world asking, is true source really exist? Is true source listening to us? When you have the direct love connection with true source, wherever you are, every single time you call true source, you can feel your direct love connection with true source. You know so clearly true source is real, and you know so clearly true source is listening to us every single moment. True source is loving and taking care of us every single moment.
In my profession as a psychologist and as an open heart instructor for the Natural Way of Living, if you ask me, what is one of the most important things for someone to learn that would benefit them in their life? What I would say is that learning to experience naturally, effortlessly positive feelings is really a key. If you're able to experience positive feelings such as peace, calm, joy, and gratitude, then you can be happy in your life. And that's what's so special about our heart. Our heart is the key to experiencing peace, calm, joy, and gratitude, not just as a simple technique when you just sit and meditate, but actually learning to acclimate the experience of these beautiful feelings into our everyday life.
As a psychologist, I'm in private practice, and I have people coming to me with depression, with anxiety, with kind of the normal run-of-the-mill, what I call walking wounded problems. And again, I have them touch their heart and smile to their heart and enjoy the feeling from their heart. And so quickly they change. They're so fast that they can come into me and say, you know, I don't think I need to see you anymore. And I go, yes.
I tried so many things. I did counseling, coaching, different energy practices, different spiritual practices, did loads of meditation, traveled the world, trying so many things that were interesting. And yeah, many of them brought some relief, but in a way they were quite on the surface. That hole that I felt in me was never filled by anything until I discovered open heart and natural way of living, and I felt love for the first time from true source.
What makes our spiritual heart so special is it is through our spiritual heart that we have a direct connection with true source, the source of love and the source of who we really are in the deepest level of our being. And this is the key to our deepest fulfillment.
So every time I did the open heart meditation, I just had an opportunity to really see the world and everything that was happening, including myself, through different eyes. And then I could remember that in my interactions and then slowly choose to stay with that instead of my old habits.
And this is why my colleagues sometimes say, why are you walking through the corridor and why are you smiling? Because I feel happy and I feel grateful.
So that peace, calm, joy, it becomes our new normal.
So my attitude changed. I was happier. I was able to meet life's challenges and interact with others from that calmer place, deep within the spiritual heart, which is connected to true source, the source of unconditional love.
Not only am I happy and feel love and safety and joy, that it feels like it can be shared with others as well. And it's just such a completely different and more beautiful life in indescribable number of ways.
A deeper part of me realizes that how important it is to live our lives for a bigger purpose, and not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us and our loved ones, our friends, our family. And it's just so nice and so wonderful.
As soon as I heard about the spiritual heart, something deep inside just realized there's something about that, and I wanted to know more about it. And then the more I learned about it, I realized that the heart is the key connection to our source, the divine source, the source of love. As I began to realize this, I realized that was what I was missing in every other meditation technique that I was doing.
I realized, wow, whenever my heart opened through open heart meditation, all these beautiful feelings surface so naturally and so easily.
The more that I started living, heart-centered life, the more I began continuing my open heart journey, the more I begin to realize that this is our actual natural way of being.
And I have that center of feeling peaceful and calm. And I know that it doesn't come from circumstances and it doesn't come from anyone else, but it comes from within and it comes from the heart.
I've noticed that in all of the relationships around me and in my attitude to life, everything has just improved tenfold.
Programs at Natural Way of Living will guide you to first open your spiritual heart, to be connected to your spiritual heart, so that you can really feel with your spiritual heart peace, calmness, etc. in your daily life, and the beautiful direct love connection with True Source again. And you will be less stressful, and then the program will guide you to connect deeper and deeper with your spiritual heart, simply to trust and improve your loving relationship with True Source, so that you will feel very, very close to True Source, sharing the love from True Source to everyone around you, and being guided by True Source in doing your earthly responsibilities.